to the city too?
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. You're trash, Brock.
Excuse me?
Your picture's a fake.
Hello?
Oh, Parker, you are such a Boy Scout. When are you gonna give a guy a break?
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dragon Ball drama has returned. That is right. With the whole thing going on between Akio, Iyoku, and Shueisha, it feels like or seems like things have been potentially resolved. It looks like Dragon Ball is kind of moving forward, which is great, right? We're having that big event in January, and I'm actually stoked. You know, just as much as you guys are, tons of people who are fans of the series are ready for more content, right? And we don't know what's going to be showed at this, but we're getting little bits of information from Torishima and Akio Iyoku ever since that Dragon Ball store came out. Apparently, there was a live stream where Torishima was present, and I want to say a massive shout outs to Vinixis for actually posting translations so that we can better understand what's going on. Now, these are translations from Vinixis, who is pretty reliable in the community more recently, right? I haven't really seen this person a long time ago, but they're more recently, you know, putting out information and translations, which have been pretty good. And I just want to say kind of, you know, do take what is said here with a bit of a grain of salt, just because what does that even mean? A bit of a grain of salt? Like, it's, I don't know, like, I feel like some things could be misinterpreted, just the way that Torishima says stuff. If you guys don't know who Torishima is, he was Toriyama's old editor back in the day, okay? He pushed for a lot of things, you know, gave advice to Toriyama back when, you know, Dragon Ball Z, Dr. Slump, and all that was being created, right? The whole process of it. So he's a really important figure and just an important dude for the history of Dragon Ball, right? And the dude is here, you know, talking about modern Dragon Ball stuff, and he's very harsh. He's very upfront. He don't give a fuck about your feelings. Like, he's gonna tell you, right? He's gonna tell you how it is. If your shit is garbage, then he'll tell it to your face, right? Like, he'll say it, and like, you know, this dude, he seems to not really like Iyoku, and we'll talk about this. Like, we'll go over all the information here and where all this is coming from and how this can, you know, I guess, affect the future of Dragon Ball. So Torishima says, don't throw your money away at the Dragon Ball store, which is that new store that recently, you know, was created and is available in Japan, right? Exclusively in Japan. If you don't know, for example, Goresh in the community, you know, he does Dragon Ball Legends content. He lives in Japan. I think he went to the store recently, bought a bunch of stuff. I saw a few things that he picked up, and I mean, they just look like, you know, your basic standard Dragon Ball merch, right? Like toys, you know, it could be cups and shit, mugs, you know, it has pretty much everything. But Torishima is saying that it's not good quality stuff, right? So this is all stuff and information from Kosu Kosu livestream. He said, please watch the original broadcast directly to understand the full context, right? I didn't watch the full thing. I'm just going to kind of go over the information that they're putting out, because I think that stream is all in Japanese, obviously. There might be translations and stuff, but I mean, obviously we have all the information present here that we can read. And like I said, I'm gonna, you know, just depend on what Vinixis is saying, and actually, you know, all credits to them, right? So Torishima harshly attacked the figure Akio Iyoku, who is kind of the guy, right, that is pushing a lot of the new Dragon Ball content moving forward. He's the reason why we got Broly, right? The Broly movie. He's the reason why Gohan is part of the superhero movie, because initially that wasn't the plan. It was going to be a Piccolo movie, if you guys don't, you know, remember. So he's kind of like subtweeting him, right? he doesn't explicitly name him, but it's obvious who he's referring to, accusing him of arrogance despite lacking direct creative experience on the original manga, which, I mean, I guess, yeah, that is true. You know, Torishima does have that experience. You know, he was the OG guy. Like, he was the guy, right? The editor. You know, Akio Iyoku, who also has worked with Toriyama, right? In the, you know, before his passing and everything. Like I said, he's kind of the new guy that's pushing Dragon Ball forward. Not the manga, but everything, you know, his company, Caps Corporation Tokyo, right? So these are both very polarizing and controversial people in the world of Dragon Ball, at least for, you know, new shit, right? And that's coming out and everything. Torishima, like I said, you know, he's not working on any of the new stuff. As far as I know, he hasn't been involved in anything with Dragon Ball since like what, 80s, 90s maybe, right? You know, I don't know a ton about Torishima, but like I said, you know, he was the editor and he was the guy that was pushing a lot of things and giving advice. So he says he is the head of the secret society in reference to Capsule Corporation Tokyo, I guess, and Iyoku. Someone who hasn't created a single page or written a single line of Dragon Ball, yet gives orders on everything with that arrogant air. Damn. So yeah, this is crazy. Like, you know, when I think of drama with Dragon Ball and stuff, I really don't think of, you know, the people in Japan, right? Like, I'm sure there are drama and things, but like, I'm always thinking of just like people, you know, living in the West and stuff. There's always so much hate and negativity, you know, in the community. I see all the time, right? But this is like the official people there that are just like, I don't know, shitting on each other. I don't know. That's the thing. We haven't heard anything from Iyoku. This seems to be kind of one-sided so far, unless Iyoku fires back, right? But I don't think it'll get that crazy. I think for the most part, things will, you know, stay pretty professional. But I mean, Iyoku, I guess, you know, there is some truth to this, because the whole power struggle between Capsule Corporation Tokyo and Iyoku and everything with Shueisha is seeing how Iyoku, he was trying to, you know, branch off from it. And he was like, basically like, fuck you guys. Like, I want to do my own thing. I want to push Dragon Ball forward, which is a good thing, right? But at the same time, we do want good quality, good content, right? We want good Dragon Ball. We don't want it to be rushed, complete 100% fan service all the time, right? And me personally, you know, I love that shit. I'll eat it up. You know, I love me some fan service. I love me some nostalgia bait. You know, I like that kind of stuff, and people are not going to, you know, like me for saying that. But I do care about the series. I do want to see new stuff moving forward. I think we've had, in the past 10 years now, we've had so much nostalgia shit and so much like fan service. I think it's okay to move forward with something, a story, and, you know, more Dragon Ball that is actually of quality and, you know, good storytelling and everything. Like, I do still want that. You know, obviously I would love both, you know, if possible, but Iyoku he's going too much into the realm of Dragon Ball being just like a product and to sell shit, which I understand. I get, you know, Star Wars and, you know, a lot of popular shit these days, it ends up becoming that, you know, it's just kind of just product, push for product, right? And that's not what we want all the time, right? It's nice to throw in some stuff here and there, but they've just been going crazy hard with just product, new content, you know, like, where's the story, man? You know, where's the like fresh, you know, good shit? And, you know, Dragon Ball Daima I enjoyed and everything, but at the very end of it, it just kind of turned into a meathead fight between Goku, Goma, and you know, like Vegeta, for example, right? And again, I like that. It's cool and it's hype, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know, like, where is this all going? You know what I mean? They said they visited the new store at Tokyo Station, and the verdict on the aesthetic quality and layout was merciless. Torishima compares the layout to that of a Japanese cheap furniture chain, highlighting the poverty of materials and design. Now that, there's some truth to that. Now let's take a look at this, okay? I can't say the quality. I haven't been to the store. I've never touched the products, looked at the products. I don't know what the fuck is really there, other than from a couple of things I saw in Goresh's video, right? I just saw him holding a Super Saiyan 3 Goku plushie, which looked like a normal plushie that you could buy anywhere else, right? So the quality he's referring to, and a lot of the stuff he's talking about, comes from this artwork that is from some unknown new artist. I don't know who they commissioned for this, and it has to be Capsule Corporation Tokyo because they're pushing for a lot of product and stuff, right? And I'm assuming, okay, this is just my assumption, that it's Iyoku who's calling the shots with a lot of stuff, right? So I can't tell you if 100% if it was him that was like, you know, finding these artists and commissioning them to do this stuff. But let's be real, this art, it looks bad. I'm sorry to say, like, there might be some people that think it looks good. I think the proportions on some of the body and the way that shit looks, it just looks like ass. Like, especially this Ultra Instinct Goku. Like, what the fuck is going on with his neck? Like, what is happening here? Why is his body, like, the proportions look so weird? And like, what the fuck is going on down here with his feet and the shoes and stuff? Like, it just looks weird. Like, you don't need a professional or an artist to come out and tell you that something is not right with some of this fucking art, dog. Like, what is happening here? With some of like some of the anatomy and stuff, it just looks weird, right? Like, this ain't no Fenyo, right? And Fenyo is hailed as probably the best Dragon Ball promotional artist that we have. You know, obviously there are other people, you know, out there that do great art and animation and stuff, but I'm referring to mainly like when we're seeing Dokkan's new art, Dragon Ball Legends, you know, Dragon Ball Super Divers and stuff. There's always Fenyo, which you can recognize, who has very sharp, distinct, you know, art style with the characters, and it just looks really good. Like that looks like good quality Dragon Ball art, right? And then you have that bad promotional artist, which isn't this guy. This guy might be bad promotional artist number 2. And maybe it's his son or his brother, his fucking cousin or something. Because, like, what the hell is going on over here, bro? Like, this Goku probably is the better looking out of the 4. But it just looks, something is still not right. I don't know if it's his face. I don't know, dude. It's a little bit weird. And all this is actually based on artwork. Or sorry, not artwork. The artwork is based on, what is it called? If I can actually bring it up. Oh, okay, I don't even have the image anymore. There were images of statues that they made, okay, which the statues look pretty good, right? Like these big statues, and the artwork is all based on the statues. Maybe it could be the other way around, but I'm pretty sure it is. The art is based on the statues because it looks like the artist was trying to, it's like they took a picture of it and then they traced over it and then try to make it look like just like 2D art, and it ended up just not looking right. That's what it really does look like, because the statues actually look pretty decent from what I saw that are in the store, right? So that's why it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I agree, this stuff does not look good, you know, in terms of the promotional art and all this stuff. So he says, Torishima's dismantled the store's design choices, explaining, fuck off, Grok, explaining why they are technically and artistically wrong regarding Akira Toriyama's philosophy. The store uses an orange background for characters dressed in orange, right? So mainly it's all the Goku art, ones that are in like Super Saiyan. I mean, they all have orange with the pants at least, and like shirt and everything. And they're placed on a colored background that's kind of the color, like a yellowish orange color, right? Like on the walls and shit. Like when you're walking into the store, you're getting near the store, there's promotional art on the walls and shit. And then there's like an orange background that's like the same fucking color. And it does, you know, the clashing, like not clashing, but like the way it looks, it just doesn't look right. So Torishima explains that Toriyama used orange because the manga paper is white, creating contrast. Orange on orange cancels out the character. Goku charging up the Kamehameha has an upright pose with no weight on the legs, right? So yeah, it's like, yeah, these just look like ass, bro. They don't look good. Nas Chris states that he spoke with illustrators currently working on Dragon Ball. Interesting. I spoke with some illustrators. They told me since the job was entrusted to me, I am giving it my all. In that case, Shueisha or the CCT supervisor should reject them, right? Torishima, that is exactly right. So I'm not trying to shit on the artists. Like, I'm sure, you know, they're doing their best, and, you know, that's fine. I understand that. Like, I get it. But, you know, they were getting paid for this, right? Maybe it wasn't a lot. I don't know. And they just, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you know, going forward, like, hey, sorry, you know, you did your thing. You probably should work on something else. Maybe your art style is more fitting for something else. Just doesn't work with Dragon Ball. It doesn't look very good, okay? And I'm no artist, right? I think it's fair that we as fans and everything can criticize when we see art that doesn't look good, or we see things that don't look that good. You know, we have to point it out and we have to talk about this, right? Because we want to see good quality for Dragon Ball. I've said this in the past many times. Like, you know, good quality, anything is what we would prefer over just like stuff like this. I think that's obvious. Like, I don't have to say it, right? Even though I just fucking said it. Torishima and Chris would like Nakatsuru. Why did I say it like that? Nakatsuru to supervise the drawings. Torishima explains what he used to do. Since Arale products were coming out with clumsy and terrible drawings just like these, what did I do back then? I watched the anime constantly, and you know there are episodes where the drawings are beautiful, right? Yeah, some shit looks really fucking good, right? Like, you know, Studio Cockpit when they came through, and like the art style was looking awesome, right? Even the animation and stuff, right? I carefully checked the credits, asked for the information, selected those few people, had them draw for me, and said, I want you to entrust the work only to these people, and I wanted them to be paid adequately. Now, he's based as fuck for this. Like, that's this right here. Like, he might come off as like a hater and everything, and I'm not taking his side or anything. You know, I'm not here to take sides, but I agree with him, and I think everybody else would have to agree with him. Yes, this is exactly how it should be done, right? Like, I understand giving somebody new a chance, and that's fine. But when it looks like this, I'm sorry, you lost your privileges, fam. Like, we just got to get somebody else, right? Because people, you know, the fans are going to recognize it, and they're going to see, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, so yeah, this is exactly how it should be done. Go through, and like, you know, he took the time, he went through, he watched the anime, watched it back. He said, okay, these are the parts of the series, and these are the episodes, and this is the art style that looked really fucking good, right? Let me call these people up, get them down, bring them down. Hey, you guys did really good on this shit. I need you guys to supervise and, you know, get people together that are like-minded, you know, not like-minded, but, you know, have a similar art style, can recreate the art style like this, do it like this. I'll pay you well. I'll pay you good. That sounds like a W in my book. Like, he's base as fuck. Torishima explicitly invited fans not to spend money at the store or on these shoddy products, defining them as fakes, devoid of Toriyama's soul. Literally, quite literally, the intro of this video that I did. Not exactly the same, but it's a similar thing. Like, he literally calls it out. He says, your shit's fake. And then Iyoku's just like, oh. He accused the management of exploiting fans, treating them like suckers. And it's like, again, I can't say for the products, the actual products and the quality of the products, what they have. Because I've never, you know, I'm not there physically, you know, holding it, seeing it, you know, and everything. But when it came to the art, yeah. He is right about that. And I'm not going to be here to tell you how to spend your money. I mean, Torishima might. I ain't going to, you know, sit there and do that shit. Like, there's stuff that I spend money on that some people think is trash or whatever, and that's cool, right? And, you know, I'm not going to criticize somebody else for, you know, spending their money on something that they like, right? If you think the quality of the product is cool or whatever, it's like, you know, do what you're going to do. But, like, I can understand where he's coming from. If he personally thinks that the quality is not up to par or on the level of what he knows Toriyama is all about, then, you know, so be it. The only choice is not to buy and slam it in their face is the fact that everything there is now shit. If it stops selling, everyone will reflect. It is because it sells that they stop thinking. Ooh. Bro was riding with fire, man. That's some Shakespeare shit. I don't even know what I'm saying, bro. Literally the meme. Writing fire. Like, he is right. And again, I'm at fault for this a lot of the times, and people have criticized me for being kind of like this person. Right, not Torishima, but like, you know, for eating up shit, eating products that is garbage or whatever. And again, it is opinionated at the end of the day for a lot of things, right? You know, people say like, oh, me liking Xenoverse or buying the DLC for Sparking Zero and buying DLC for these games, these anime arena fighters, right? Like, I'm just eating it up, right, and everything. But it's like, I'm not telling people to buy it. Like, I'm not telling you like, oh, you should buy this. This is a peak. This is the best content ever, right? And people will see it that way because I'll be like, hey, like, I really like this. I think this is awesome. This is fun. Like, I'm enjoying this, right? And that's just my opinion. Like, I buy this stuff and I purchased it because I mean, these are video games. They're meant to be fun and stuff. I'm not buying really like figures and like toys and like merchandise like this. Like, I don't ever really buy this type of stuff, right? I think some of the figures and like the statues and stuff, they look great and they look cool and nice, but like I have maybe like 2 or 3 figures and statues from like when I was a kid that I've kept, and that's pretty much it. Now, when it comes to video games, like, I feel like I'm getting more than just like something I put on the fucking wall or like a t-shirt. Like, that kind of stuff doesn't really matter to me. Like, a video game is a product where I'm able to pass the time with something that I like. So playing the DLC or playing a video game or something like that, it is different, right? So like, I can understand a little bit more where he's coming from when it comes to these type of products and stuff, because I personally think that this kind of stuff is just a waste of money in general. And not just with Dragon Ball, I mean, just kind of anything, right? If you're a child and you like to collect stuff and, you know, you're just a collector in general, like, I'm not going to shit on you or tell you don't spend your money, right? I'm not going to say that, because there are people who genuinely, that is something that they love doing. It's a hobby for them, right? And at the end of the day, that's what a lot of this stuff is. So, again, I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I can't 100% agree, because, you know, I'm kind of that person, right? I'll buy this stuff if I like it, but I'm one person who's buying this stuff. There are billions, trillions of people, you know, in the world, right? Like, there's so many people in the world, and if they want to buy it, that's up to them. Like, I'm not here to convince or tell you guys not to do that. But yeah, I believe it is important to support these words. We need the brand we love to maintain the quality it deserves, and we must prevent a situation similar to the current state of Pokemon games before it is too late, which I understand. Shout outs to all these people like Kosu Kosu, Nas Chris, you know, everybody that put out this information and stuff. So I see some reactions. Saiyan Beast here says, basically Torishima is saying that Dragon Ball should stay true to Toriyama's original art style. This is mainly when it comes to the art, and rely on top tier artists like it did in the old days, not cheap cash grab talent. The guy is genuinely worried, and I agree 200%. Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. You know, I understand giving somebody new a chance, and that's cool. You can give them a chance. But, I mean, if they're showing you their work and it's not on par with, you know, how good Dragon Ball can look, right? Maybe you shouldn't invest in, you know, paying this person, and go with somebody you know who's going to give good quality. You know what I mean? And I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're not giving these people a chance and everything. It's like, you can give them a chance, but it's going to cause the issues that we're seeing here. Like this, when this artwork came out, it was talked about all over Dragon Ball Twitter. People were not happy with this. Maybe there were some people that thought it looked good or they liked it, but most people, they were like, this shit looks like ass. Like, and I'm one of those people who's like, I don't think it's the worst shit I've ever seen, but this is definitely, like, it could look way better. And it's just, I don't know. Like I said, it looks like you traced over the statues. Like, you took a picture of the statues, you traced over it, and you try to make it look 2D. It's like, just some stuff just doesn't look good on here, man. It really doesn't. But yeah, Torishima has made a number of comments in the interview. This is back in September. He says, Toyotaro and Shibata are bad at manga. The basics aren't up to par. The people in charge of editing these manga don't understand why the pieces are divided, how the eyes are guided, how the angles are handled and the information spread, and so they can't check it. Once it's finished and the pictures are in, they think it's a manga. It would have been better to do a Vegeta story over Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Daima is a shitty anime. Like, this is allegedly shit that he says, that he's been saying, like, recently. Like, I don't agree with some of the stuff he's saying, but it's like, I can understand he's coming from a place where he just wants to see good quality Dragon Ball. And again, it's like, some of the stuff I don't necessarily agree with. I think some of the stuff that Toyotaro does, some of it is a little bit overly detailed, and some of it looks awesome, right? It's not black and white. You know what I mean? There's got to be always a nuance here, nuanced discussion when it comes to this type of stuff, because it's like, there is good stuff that I've seen. There's bad stuff that I've seen, right? So shout outs to Smug. That's my boy. He says, believe it or not, he does care about Dragon Ball in reference to Torishima. He also is the one who brought in Toriyama for Battle of Gods, had the idea for Kai, and pushed for a better villain in the Android arc, which became Cell, because he cares about it. Now, again, big massive respects to him. Like, there are things he'll criticize and he'll be super harsh about, but, you know, he's cooked. He's cooked in the past, and he's done good things for the series, right? So, again, credits and shout-outs to Nas Chris. My opinion is purely from the perspective of one fan. I want the right creators to draw and design with a quality that doesn't ruin the wonderful original work that Toriyama-sensei left behind. I want the companies that hold the decision-making power, right now Caps Corporation Tokyo, to sincerely consider the feelings of the fans and the work itself, rather than just business. True. I want harmony to be valued, not quarrels or misunderstanding. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I think they put it best. We just want good quality Dragon Ball. And again, I appreciate what Iyoku has done for things. Like I said, he's done good things, but he's doing, it's too much business, too much, right? And again, I get it. You want to sell this shit. You want people to buy the new forms in the video games, the toys, merchandise, you know, the fucking, like, I don't even know what else. Like, again, it's a fucking cup, a mug, it has Goku Super Saiyan 27 on there. Like, I understand you're a company and, you know, that's what you're pushing for and stuff. But over anything, we want good quality. We want what Toriyama, you know, was all about, right? And Toriyama did work a lot on Daima, but I mean, it wasn't just him. You know, there were other people working on it, and you know, Iyoku was likely there giving him ideas and things. And I can't say 100%. I don't know if it was him that pushed for Super Saiyan 4, right? The design and everything was Toriyama's, you know, stuff, right? And a lot of the concepts and things was like Toriyama's story, but you know, if Super Saiyan 4 was a big push from Iyoku, which I'm assuming it was, right? And Toriyama was like, yeah, you know, I'm on board for it. Let me make my version of it, right? Then it's like, you know, right? Like, you know, it was him because, you know, he was pushing for Broly. He was pushing for Gohan to be in the superhero movie when he initially wasn't really going to be a big part of it, right? So it's like, you can tell he's just trying to push for sales and stuff. And at the same time, you know, I'm sure he does love the series and he does care about the series because he's been the reason why we've at least been getting new stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like with Torishima, you know, he's not really like recently. He's just been criticizing and just like, you know, shit talking. And he's not like actually like creating new ideas and stuff as far as I know, you know, because he doesn't work with Dragon Ball anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. It's just a crazy situation and drama between, you know, them. And again, I have no idea if Iyoku is even responding back or if this is just like a one-sided thing. So far, it seems like it is, right? But it's a crazy thing. I really wanted to talk about this, and not because it's just drama, right? You know, drama's stupid, but this is like important drama, right? This is stuff that pertains to the future of the series, and he makes good points. Torishima makes good points, right? But y'all let me know. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the whole situation. Do you think Torishima was too harsh? Do you think Iyoku is not really pushing Dragon Ball in the best direction it could be? Let me know, right? But we'll see what happens at that event. Okay, that'll be the real shit. The truth if Iyoku is trying to do good quality, right? And does actually truly care. We'll see. All right, see you guys next time. Peace.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.